Hello, everybody, and as you can see, I'm joined by club captain Tom Kennedy to have a quick catch up with it being this mini lockdown. How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, good, thanks. Not too bad. Obviously, I don't think this lockdown's been quite as intense as the last one. I'm still in work, as you can tell. So, I think it's a bit more relaxed, but obviously, in the grand scheme of what we're talking about and football side, it's still obviously very, very frustrating, especially the way that we're doing. But it's all part and parcel. We've just got to sort of get our heads down and crack on with it.
Yeah, that's it as well, especially after last season too. We had that disappointment, didn't we, where it all completely ended. I mean, at least this time, as you say, it's a bit different. It looks like we're going to get started again next month. Fingers crossed, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think obviously what the recent guidelines that have come out, obviously the rumours, that's half the problem these days, that rumours tend to come out leaked before we actually get some sort of confirmation. So, I've seen the sort of news today that football's going to restart potentially, but I suppose you can never guarantee anything. We where we're at as a group, because we're so sort of on the same page regarding what we want to achieve this season. We've been ticking over. We've got a Strava group going on, doing runs. Gaffer's, as you all know, he's pretty adamant about fitness and being prepared right for when we do actually restart. So we've done things right. We've got a few more. We've got another session to do tomorrow, so we'll be doing them Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So we're in the best possible shape come that first game, whenever it may be.
Yeah, I'm just going to come on to that. So the preparations wise, you'll be ready for it then. As you say, Gaffer's always on. I'm surprised he hasn't given us a schedule, to be honest.
Yeah, he's like
yeah.
He's laughing and joking in some aspects, but when he's serious, he's serious. And I suppose if you're going to do things, you might as well do them right, and that's something that I respect about him. Sometimes I either go at him and tell him he's too serious, and then other times he's right in what he's doing because he wants the best. He wants to win every game. He wants to be successful, and that's same sort of mantra that where I'm at in my life. If it's going to be my last season, I always want it to be a successful one. So doing things right, even though it's a pain, obviously when you've worked a full day, I suppose it's a bit easier with the structure of going to training rather than sort of getting you running stuff on at night time when it's pitch black and going out and doing a 10K run or doing some sort of interval running or, these sort of things, because having sort of family and putting the kids to bed and stuff like that, having tea, and it's a little bit more sort of strenuous in some ways, but it's all part and parcel. I think as a group of lads, we've done that really well. Made it a bit of competition. People that come last have got to do a forfeit, all that sort of things. We had some Zoom sessions where we've all been on together doing, fitness classes and stuff like that. So I think we've mixed it up quite well and we've kept ourselves ticking over. You can never sort of prepare yourself for not being able to kick a ball for a period of time and then jump straight into a training session. So that's going to be the only sort of slight problem. Not being able to, strike a ball and then going into maybe one training session before a game, depending on when they actually announce it. So that'll be the only stickler. But, we've all played football. You can go sort of 6 months without playing, but we all know how to kick a ball. So I think everybody's just getting to the point now where we're excited about getting back to playing and getting back to having fans there and doing what we sort of enjoy doing. And I suppose football's overly enjoyable when you're winning football matches, and we've done quite well this season in being top of the league so far. But it's not where you are now; it's where you are come whenever we finish, whether it's May, June. Whenever the season ends, we need to be sort of top of the league then. So, yeah, I think the preparation that we're doing now is going to hold us in good stead for when we do this lockdown is lifted.
So, as you say, it'd be good to get back when we can, which is looking, I think they're going to announce it actually soon. As we're recording, we don't exactly know yet when that next game will be.
No.
But as you say, it's been a great start to the season, and it's 8 games, 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, I think. And could have potentially had more, couldn't we? I think the Kendall game conceded late on. So it's been a good start, and it'd be good to get back.
Yeah, I think, obviously there's been quite a big turnaround of players from, where the season finished last year. But in the same sense, I think the philosophy, the attitude has transpired into the new lads that have come in. They've shown they've bought into what the club is. They've bought into what the gaffer wants. And I think that's sort of been proven by the results that we've had and the sort of work ethic that we've seen throughout the team. Everybody's chipped in. There's been sort of different 11s in each game, and everybody sort of played their part. And I think that's such a big thing going forward, having every sort of player whether they're playing or not, on the same page and putting in the same work. In what you like to say is no bad eggs in the team, and that's what we've got. We've got a real good sort of close knit team, which throughout this period, like I said, held us in good stead and can only hold us in good stead going forward. we've been excited about it. We're excited going forward. We're excited about, team nights out and stuff like that, because, like I say, it's a great dressing room, great set of lads, and they all like to have a laugh, and more importantly, like to have a beer when they won a game, which is, for me, what non-league football is all about.
Yeah, definitely. And we've had a few beers this season so far. We've been doing
We
all
have.
right.
even this lockdown period. No, before the lockdown period, we'd sort of stay behind after the game and have a few pints, no matter where we were playing, which is, it's important because you build that team spirit together. You win a game, you have a few beers. Always makes things a lot sweeter. It makes your weekends a lot better. It makes the fans' weekends a lot better, and it just makes the club a lot more vibrant place when you're winning games. That's just part and parcel of football.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've noticed. Obviously, I've only started working here this season, but only in these 8 games, you look at a tight-knit group, and everybody chips in, like you say, don't they? Even them who aren't playing every week, and there's been a lot of changes to the starting 11, and yet just coming, it seems seamless, doesn't it? Really, when they slip in.
That's it, yeah. And it's so hard to keep that sort of mentality within the team, because people do get frustrated, people do get upset because everybody wants to play. People that you get in, it's the characters that I think on the periphery of the team that define you, because you're going to have injuries, you're going to have suspensions, you're going to have people that drop out of form, and it's then people that step in, whether they're up to scratch, up to standard, and whether they're mentally right. Because if you've been frustrated for 4 or 5 weeks and you're not played, and then you get thrown in, if you're not mentally there and you're already frustrated, you're probably not going to perform how you probably want to perform. I think that shows with the people that have been on the bench, they've come on, people that have come in for one game, and done great. And it's really, really important that you can see by people doing that and having no people that have, we say having the lip out and sulking, that it's going to hold you in good stead no matter what going forward. And there's going to be times in the season where you might lose the odd game. It's how you react and how you bounce back from them. And that's character. And that's a big thing in football, having strong characters around the place.
Yeah, definitely. I think Chris mentioned the way it takes a squad to win the league or something like that. I can't remember the exact quote. And that's true, isn't it? You need everybody, singing from the same hymn sheet, they say, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's what we've shown. We've had, there's going to be mistakes in games. There's going to be, we're playing non-league for a reason. It's because, we're not technically professionals. We're not, paid astronomical amounts of money. There's going to be mistakes, but it's how you react from them mistakes. It's how you react to giving the ball away. It's how you react to doing something that's not probably what you wanted to do at that exact time. And if you react in the right way and people around you react in the right way, and there's no sort of throwing arms in the air, I'm probably the worst culprit for it because, I moan and I throw my hands up in the air all the time. But in the grand scheme, if I see somebody give the ball away and then go and try and get it back, that's a sign of true character, and that's a sign of somebody that I'd like to play with week in, week out, because I don't mind people making mistakes. It's how you react, and that's the most important. We've got a team full of lads there that they want to work for each other and they want to win football matches, which is such a big thing. Nobody's going to settle with, drawing and losing. And that's a trait that I think is becoming more and more paramount in certain aspects of the game, even at the professional level, because it becomes a job rather than a passion to some people. And I always say it in my interviews and when I speak to people in general, around and about the last sort of, I think it's been nearly 3 seasons now that I've been at Rami, have been 3 of the most enjoyable, because it just reminds me of why I first started playing football when I was a YTS at Bury and then became a pro, because it's all about sort of being around them people, players that you want to play with, friends, enjoying football, no chips on the shoulder, no egos. There's no sort of personal attitudes towards each other. It's just a case of crack on, have a game of football, run around, give everything you've possibly got. You try and win every game. Doesn't always work out like that. And then after the game, you're going to have a few pints, and you can take the rip out of each other, and nobody really gives 2 hoots. And that's for me what football's all about. So, yeah, in the grand scheme, I think we've got a great sort of work ethic and great team spirit at the minute, and long may it continue. Yeah,
definitely. It definitely helps, doesn't it? And we've already mentioned Gaffer as well, Chris, and his staff as well, Lee. Does it sort of stem down from them? Do they tell you, you make a mistake, you get back up and get on with it, sort of thing?
Well, yeah, to a degree. I think that they can sort of lead you a certain point. Like, don't get me wrong, like Gaffer's got a great diversification within his staff. We've got himself, he's got his philosophies and in the way that he wants to play, and he drills that into the players, and he's very sort of paramount about that. And then he's got Diego Lee, who's he's sort of one of the lads, builds people up, gets in around people, very much sort of a people person. Great guy to have around the dressing room. Then you've got Links, who's pretty much bipolar. Like 1 minute he's laughing and joking, next minute he's screaming and shouting from the sidelines, doing people's heads in. So he's got a great mix of people. But you know, as far as staff go, you wouldn't change it for the world. Great guys. You know, I think like I said, great diversification within it of people that from different walks of life that are going to relate to different people as well. Because in non-league football, people come from all over the place. You know, and it's good to have people in there that can sort of get better reactions out of people potentially when other people may not. And like I said, you know, Lee and Links, I think they're great for the lads. They get the best out of them, and I think we're showing that this season. And to be honest, the part of the lads themselves anyway, because if we go on a night out or anything happens like that, then you know Diego and Links are at the forefront of that anyway. So I think that's massively important. Same with the gaffer, to be fair. You know, he's done unbelievably well over the last few years with you know the results that we've had, the sort of runs that we've had. You know, it's been a great few years, and I've loved working with him. I think he offers so much. In the same things, like me and him have a great relationship. I think from day one we've got on well. And like I say, you know, I think I wouldn't have played probably these last 3 years if it wasn't for him being manager, to be honest.
Yeah, and as you say, it's important. They all have different personalities, like as well. If they're all the same person, it probably wouldn't work as well.
No, exactly. And the lads wouldn't relate to that because, like I said, you know, Links is complete opposite to Diego. Diego's complete opposite to Links, and that's just what works in our dressing room. You know, it creates such a good bond when Links can hammer you. You can shout at him after the game. Then you sit in the bar and have a drink with him. Diego's the complete opposite. Diego pull you to one side, arm around the shoulder sort of person. And again, loves a beer, so he'll have a beer with you as well. So a lot of it revolves around beer in our dressing room, I'll be honest with you. Well, hopefully anyway.
Yeah. And as we said, lockdown, obviously it's been a good start for the team in general. For you personally as well, it probably came at a bad point, didn't it? Because you'd got that goal and assist, hadn't you, just before lockdown? I think you had that assist where two fullbacks combined, as we said about everyone chipping in.
Yeah. But I scored that right foot wonder goal, which I'm not looking at anybody get some footage of that because my dad still don't believe me that I scored my right foot. So I could do somebody sending me that. But then obviously the week before that I had an absolute nightmare, ran out because I missed 2 penalties in one game. So it swings in roundabouts in football. You can't take the lows are low, the highs are high, but you know, you've got to just stay on that level keel. It's a cruel game at times, but it's also, that's why we love it, because it's an amazing game at times. So, you know, like I said, 2 weeks before, I was borderline, you know, my head had completely gone. I was, you know, like a bear with a sore head sort of thing. And then the week later, I've scored a right foot wonder goal. And then the week after that, I've, you know, assisted, you know, like I said to Kyle, you know, a 40-yard diag. So that's the way that football is, you know, and I've been in it long enough, you know, since I was 17-year-old, that the lows aren't as low as they used to be and the highs aren't as high as they used to be. But you know what, I just stay on that level keel where I just enjoy myself, you know, and it's all part and parcel for me now, because you never know when, you know, it's going to be your last, you know, game or season or whatever. So for me, it's just about enjoying being around the lads, enjoying winning football matches and enjoy playing in front of some fans, because like I always say, you know, I love playing down at Rammy. It's 5 minutes from my house. Great set of fans who live and breathe the club, and you know that's what football's all about.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've realised since watching it on the telly with no fans, and then going to Ramsbottom games, I enjoy it more at Ramsbottom than I do watching Premier League on telly. I probably prefer it live as well.
I try and say that. I walk the dog and I see people, and you know, I'm out and about and stuff like that. And I try and say to people sometimes, you know, it's hard to sort of get them to come down and say like, well, you know what, it's never going to be the great standard of football. Don't get me wrong, a few people will probably be surprised that, you know, there's some good football played. There's also some really bad football played, but that's because we're playing at this level for a reason. You know, but it is, I always try and say, if you watched football 20 years ago, it's at like a League Two level or a conference level. This is what it's probably like, in the same sense. It's, you know, a lot of first and second balls, you know, you play your percentages to a degree. And when the game opens up, you start trying to play a bit of football. Bit like I always say, when I started playing at Bury when I was 17, and Bury, you know, we were struggling inside at the time. It was the same type of football. And it's a community, family club, you know, and I always go, and people are fed up with me doing that, but everybody goes in the bar afterwards when it's not COVID situations, and everybody has a beer together. You talk about the game. Sometimes it's a good conversation because you've won. Sometimes it's a bad conversation because you've lost. But it's a conversation that players have with fans, which doesn't usually happen anymore. Which it should happen more. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose in the modern day era, it's just not that easy. And that's why I like it, because you can socially interact with the fans and, even opposition fans, and it's great. So I try and get people all the time to come down and watch Rammy. If you're not going to watch, the Newbury, or, if you can't get to an actual live game and you fancy watching, a footy match, come down to the Riverside and watch like an old school football match where, lads are going to be giving 100% on the pitch, and, it's cutting for us football, but it's enjoyable, and like I always say, 9 times out of 10, it's enjoyable for us as players, because, we're in a good side and we're winning games.
Yeah, no VAR either, if anyone wants to come down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, but I know I second that. I've loved it since I've only started coming this season, and I've worked at others now, and but only for a little bit, and then this is my first proper one I've been at for a while, and I'm loving it. It's just good to have fans, like you say, in it, and hopefully they'll be able to come back as well next month.
Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah. So going into, obviously, when we do come back, we're not 100% sure the exact date yet, but it's looking likely it's going to be next month. Are you confident then we can take in, continue where we left off, sort of, really?
Yeah, we've heard rumours. Obviously, we have group chat and stuff like that. There's rumours of, the weekend of the 5th or the weekend after that. So, like I said, we're preparing for that date, no matter what, whether there's a game or there's not a game. We're doing all the prep. And like I say, you can buy into something or you can not buy into something. And our lads have chose to buy into staying as fit as possible throughout the lockdown. Like I said, it's not easy. Lads have commitments. Lads have jobs. They work. Some of them work really long hours. Have families as well. So it's not easy, but they've chose to make that commitment. So that says a lot about the sort of core values of this team. And I think we'll be in great physical shape. It might take a game or two to get the rustiness out, but every team's going to be in that same situation. So it's just a case of which team and players deal with that better. I like to think we've got quite a bit of experience in our team who've played at not only a decent level, but played quite a bit non-league level as well. So I'd like to, I've always said the gaffer Links and Diego will prepare us right mentally and stuff like that. So I think, them first few games, it's important to sort of pick up where you left off and sort of fly into whenever the season restarts in the same sort of manner. And, we live and breathe by the way that we play, and, giving 100% every game. The quality might not be there all the time, but if you give 100%, you've got half a chance.
Yeah, and do you think I know there's been quite a big overhaul, haven't there? I were here last season, but I can imagine it was very disappointing. Obviously, you were second, weren't you, when got cancelled last season, but could that be used in a way, sort of, determination that we come back? We've got the chance at least this time, haven't we, to carry on and try and, I know it's early days, but finish what we've started, sort of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, last year we were in a really good position. We had a strong squad again. We honestly believed that we'd go on and probably run Workington, would beat them or run them close. It's going to be touch or go. We're back to ourselves. We were in a great position, but obviously in the grand scheme of what happened, it was crazy. Still is crazy to a degree, but part of the politics and all the stuff is nothing to do with us. We just sort of want to get back playing football. So we're like I said, we're in a good position physically, mentally. We can only go out there and give our all. And if we keep doing what we've done over the past, 6-8 weeks, wherever it's been, then, we'll hold ourselves in good stead. It's a competitive league. There's no easy games really. So every team's going to be sort of given in the same sort of mantra. Whether they've done it as prepared as well as we have, I don't know. We've done everything that we possibly can. So yeah, I fully expect us to sort of fly into whenever the season starts and really go on and try and do what we want to do, which is win the league. There's no beating around the bush. There's no sort of like making things up. We want to win the league. We want to be successful, and I think we've got the squad to do that. I remember looking back at the players that left last season and pre-season with some sessions would have 3 signed on players. I think it was me, Jay Rover and Richie Baker, and we were looking around each other, and I kept saying to the gaffer, I said, "Gaffer, any chance you getting some players in?" And he'd be like, "Oh, don't worry, TK. It's all part of the plan." And I was like thinking, "Nah, we're cannon fodder this year and stuff like that." But fair play to him. He always comes up with trumps. I don't know how, but him, Wazza, Links and Diego, they always managed to sort of recruit a good set of lads. And my big thing in pre-season was bringing lads that want to believe in what we do, want to work hard, and want to sort of socialise with each other, not just at training and after games, but you know, a night out, you know, a Saturday night or a Sunday day, or, you know, one of the lads that want to be around each other, because you'll get an extra sort of 12 points a season, in my opinion, for lads that want to actually play for each other. So, like I say, I think that's been the mantra from pre-season. I think it's what we took from last season into this season as well, lads that want to be around each other. So, we're a bit disappointed that we might not get Christmas do this year, but we'll probably try our best anyway, depending on what these new lockdown restrictions are when it gets announced.
Yeah, we can always change it to a summer one, can't we, or Easter or something like that one.
Get ourselves, yeah. The gaffer will be trying to go Benidorm again. He loves Benidorm.
Yeah, he will want it. Yeah, we got to buy that one. Anyway, cheers for that, Tom. Hopefully fans enjoyed that as well. And fingers crossed we can get back next month and, like I said, carry on where we've started.
Absolutely, yeah. No worries.